Title: Overheard my cheating wife mocking me to her coworkers. I can dump him anytime. He's useless to me. I just walked outside. One quiet phone call later, her boss stormed into the party, grabbed her arm, and screamed, "What did you do?" I wasn't supposed to hear it. I had only stepped outside the banquet hall to loosen my tie, to breathe. The laughter drifted through the cracked window, a familiar sound laced with something jagged. My wife's voice. I can dump him anytime. He's useless to me. The words didn't stab, they carved. Slow, deliberate, with the precision of someone who wanted the wound to last. Her coworkers roared with approval. She laughed loudest. For a moment, I just stood there in the humid night air, motionless, my hands trembling, not from rage, but from clarity. That was the moment everything inside me shifted. I didn't feel broken. I felt sharpened. We had been married 7 years. 7 years of late-night talks, shared dreams, sacrifices I thought were mutual. I built her stability while she built her ambition. I carried the weight so she could climb. When she wanted to start her boutique, I drained my savings. When she wanted her master's degree, I worked 2 jobs. I told myself it was love, but the truth had been rotting under my nose. The night she stayed late for reports, the weekend team building retreats, the new phone she guarded like a vault. I silenced my doubts because I wanted to believe her smile. Tonight, her own mouth ended the lie. I left the banquet quietly, without saying a word. My car was parked under a dying streetlight. I slid inside, shut the door, and let silence cocoon me. Pain didn't control me. Calculation did. I remembered the encrypted folder on my laptop, months of screenshots, phone records, GPS logs. I hadn't even admitted to myself why I collected them. Now I knew. Subconscious preparation. The mind of a man who already suspected betrayal, but waited for undeniable proof. One call, that's all it would take. Her boss owed me. 3 years ago, his son got tangled in a DUI mess. I worked quietly behind the scenes, called in favors, softened charges, buried headlines. He never forgot. Gratitude is leverage. Leverage is currency. I dialed his private number. He answered on the second ring. My voice was steady. "She's mocking me at your party. She's mocking you too. You should know what she's been doing in your company's name." I forwarded the file. Screenshots, expense reports, hotel bills tagged as client dinners, photos. Enough to sink a career, scorch a reputation. He didn't hesitate. His breath hitched once, then, "Stay where you are." 10 minutes later, I followed him back into the banquet hall. The music dulled under his thunderous entrance. People froze mid-toast. His eyes locked onto her across the room, and I watched her confident smirk collapse into confusion. He crossed the floor in long strides, grabbed her arm with a grip that silenced the crowd, and bellowed, "What did you do?" The room went still, phones lowered, laughter died. She stammered, tried to mask it with charm, but he shoved the printed photos onto the table. Every eye turned, every whisper cut her deeper. Her coworkers looked at her like a stranger. Her boss looked at her like a liability. And I looked at her like the ghost she had already become to me. She tried to reach me, desperation clawing through her voice. "Please, listen, it's not what it looks like." But I had no words for her, only silence. Silence is the cruelest response. It denies them even the dignity of confrontation. I stepped back, letting the walls close in on her. The fallout was immediate. Her boss announced her suspension on the spot. Security escorted her out. I stayed just long enough to watch her break in front of the same people who once applauded her cruelty. The divorce papers were already drafted. She didn't know I had moved assets, secured accounts, prepared for this day. When she tried to fight, the evidence gutted her leverage. Her friends disappeared. Her career dissolved. Every step of her climb was undone by her own arrogance, exposed in one night. Now, weeks later, I sit in the quiet of my home, not ours anymore. Her laughter doesn't echo through the walls. Her perfume doesn't linger. The air feels cleaner without the rot of deception. I replay that night sometimes, not to wallow, but to remind myself, betrayal isn't the end. It's a mirror. It shows you who they are, and it shows you what you're capable of when the mask falls away. She thought I was useless, replaceable, but the truth is, I was the foundation she stood on. And when I pulled that foundation away, she didn't just stumble, she crumbled. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to fight. I only needed to listen, step outside, and make one quiet phone call. That was enough.